are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom. For those who mourn, they will find comfort. Blessed are the meek, for they will be given all the earth. And blessed are those who hunger and thirst for what is right. They will be satisfied. And blessed are those who give mercy. They will have mercy. And give me a pure heart, oh God. Give me a pure heart, oh God, that I may see you, that I may see you.
Welcome to God Talk. I'm Ray, and I want to thank you for joining us on our 10-week series, The Beauty Inside the Beatitudes. Tonight we're going to have a look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. And this is the very first Beatitude. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. As we were talking about last week, the Beatitudes reflect the mind of the Spirit. As we know, the mind of the Spirit is contrary to the mind of the flesh or the world. So if we were to read each one backward, then it should reflect the mind of the world, which helps to differentiate the mind of the Spirit much easier. So the mind of the Spirit, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, if we read that backwards, we should get the mind of the world. Cursed are you who are poor in spirit. You are of little value to yourself and or others. In Luke, the Beatitude only says, blessed are the poor. Jesus doesn't say poor in spirit. Only in Matthew, it records him saying poor in spirit. And I think the phrase poor in spirit actually intensifies the situation. For being poor in finances is one thing, but being poor in spirit, then even your will to do something constructive about your situation is compromised. How many times do we feel like that? All of us are really going through that right now with this virus, and we don't know which end is up, what's true, what's not. And some of us have trials of life, everyday life on top of that. Don't you feel that sometimes life has you on a slippery slope, and no matter what you try and do, nothing seems to work out? Have you felt like that? Or do you feel like that now? Sometimes I feel like that. So in contrast to the biblical view, the world's view of being poor in spirit is quite dark. The world basically says that if you are that defeated and you don't have the strength or resources to get back upon your feet again, you're basically of no use to yourself or society. Now, I've found this especially true in the entertainment business. It's worse for those who have had a reasonable amount of success, and it's so easy to lose sight of what is real. Drug overdoses and suicide happen all too frequently among declining superstars, and especially in the once famous childhood prodigies who are subjected to a false reality at such a young age. Years ago, a hero actually had to do something noble. Put out a fire, save lives, stand their ground in the face of ridicule or persecution. But today, we just have to be part of some video that goes viral on social media, and we're called a hero. The biblical view of being poor in spirit has a light of hope, has a ray of hope. The word spirit in Greek is pneuma, and it can mean wind or breath as well as spirit. Interpreted, it can have a couple of meanings, which I think are both relative. It can mean, blessed are you when life has knocked the wind right out of your sails, when you don't even have the strength to get back up and try anymore, when you're so done with life you can't even breathe. It refers to being at the end of your rope. The reason it says that you are blessed is that you've come to the realization that this world has absolutely nothing for you. You realize all material things or anything of worth in this world will eventually pass away and will never really have any lasting value. You know, I've seen very, very wealthy people who've had an abundance of material things contemplate suicide because they feel totally worthless. And they think the world would be a better place without them in it. If they would only realize that at this stage, they're actually blessed. You know why? Because now there's nothing from the physical world to hold on to. This frees them up to see that their real worth cannot be attained from anything created in the world, but only from the one who created the world itself. Only then can their hearts be open and their minds be clear enough to want to know and to get to know the Creator and see their real purpose and identity. Now, the second meaning of this beatitude, which is really the conclusion or insight of the first interpretation, and this is what I believe Jesus was really getting at, is that we are all, without Him, spiritually bankrupt. Every single one of us. And we only have the option of the blessing once we realize that. This was the reason Jesus came into the world, to bear witness to the truth, to wake us up from the lie the world would have us believe that we create our own worth. No, the truth is that the famous and the unknown, the rich and the pauper, the sick and the healthy, without Christ, are all spiritually bankrupt. The pauper or the sick person may be closer to realizing this since they have fewer things that will obstruct their spiritual mindset, but all without God are without everlasting worth and meaning. Remember the song by Kansas, Dust in the Wind? All we are is dust in the wind. Remember that? That's what we're talking about here. Jesus died on the cross so that we would have life everlasting. Once we ask for forgiveness and accept His gracious gift of salvation, then we're born again from the Spirit. Our new spirit is from another kingdom, one that lasts forever, the kingdom of heaven. Our new life now has purpose and meaning. The old is gone, crucified with Christ, dead and buried. Though we may remain materialistically poor on this earth, we are truly rich because we have God. We belong to God. We have become His sons and daughters. We have become true citizens of heaven, the true, incorruptible, perfect world. The riches we build in this new kingdom are incorruptible, something no one can take from us and will never be destroyed. The world holds zero value in this because everything from the world is finite, because the world is finite. So it makes sense that people who hang on to the riches of this world will one day leave this world in their true state, poor and bankrupt. For all they deem valuable will be lost at the time of their transition from this world to the next. And because they've chosen the pleasures of the flesh over the riches of the Spirit, since there's no more flesh, they'll be in everlasting want. For if every good and perfect gift comes from God, since they have decided to separate themselves from Him, then by their own free will, they have chosen to spend eternity away from Him, where there is no good and perfect anything, only spiritual bankruptcy. But once we've accepted the grace of forgiveness that God so freely offers, made possible through the death and resurrection of His only Son, Jesus Christ, then we are, as Paul says in Romans chapter 8:17, we are heirs, heirs with God and co-heirs with Christ. If indeed we share in His sufferings in order that we may also share in His glory. Ours is the kingdom of heaven. Do you understand what this means? You know, you always hear, I hope I go to heaven. I just want to go to heaven. No. This is not just about going to heaven. We own it. Heaven is our inheritance. Do you understand that? When we accept the great gift that God has to offer us, we become heirs. and he gives us his kingdom. We own it. So if today you're feeling like somebody has knocked the wind right out of you, you're feeling that, what's the point? What's the point? Accept his gracious gift right now, because you're blessed. In this state, you're actually blessed because you realize this world holds nothing of value. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for yours and mine is the kingdom of heaven.
And give us some